My next guest is Erin Harrison. Erin, welcome to Coincidence or God Incidents.
Hi, Steve.
Ladies, if you've ever given birth and had a conversation with a nurse shortly after, perhaps you'll relate to this incredible God incident. But I have to tell you that after giving birth to her son Michael, Erin's conversation was incredibly mysterious. Erin, tell us about the day that Michael was born.
Michael was born on January 11th, 2004 in Appleton, Wisconsin. And it was just, I thought it was a normal birth. He was birthed and the doctor came in and said, "Oh, looks like you had a very healthy baby." He wasn't even there to deliver him. But later in the course of, after the delivery, one of the nurses came in and she took me off guard a little bit because she was kind of like a drill sergeant. She came in there and gave me some very strict instructions.
And what were those instructions?
She said, "Do not have the baby sleep in the bed with you." That was one of the instructions. "And wrap him up when you're done nursing him and put him into this little carrier beside the bed." She said, "After 8 p.m. this night, you may not nurse him because we want to get an empty stomach weight on him at midnight. So you need to call the nurse's station right at midnight and have them wheel him back to the station and do this empty stomach weight. Then you can feed him." Okay. That was really weird because I've had 5 children, so being asked to have the nurse take him back there for this weight was strange, but I thought, well, maybe that's a new policy at AMC, so I went along with it. So I waited until I nursed him, put him in just how she told me to wrap him up, and I placed him in there, and I was a little worried about feeding him, but right at midnight, I saw the clock, and I called the nurses, and I said, "Hey, my baby needs his empty stomach weight." And the nurses said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, the nurse told me that he needed to have empty stomach weight so I can feed him after he's back." And they said, "Huh, okay." They didn't really know what I was talking about, but they came, wheeled him away, and they came back maybe about 15 minutes later. And they said, "We're doing everything we can. Your baby's not breathing. He's not responding. He was totally blue when we brought him back there." And I went out in the hall like she told me to, and I thought my baby was dead. They were doing CPR. They were working on him, and they figured out he had a congenital heart defect that was not detected prior to delivery, so they had to fly him down to Children's Hospital in Milwaukee where they did open heart surgery.
Wow, and he healed, he did fine.
He's doing great.
Fantastic.
He's continuing monitoring, but he's doing great.
Okay, did you ever talk to that nurse again?
Hey, I wanted to. I mean, I was just so thankful that she told me to bring him in at the right exact time that his heart actually stopped beating.
Okay.
So I went over to AMC and I said, "Hey, where's this nurse that worked with us when Michael was born?" And they're like, "What nurse?" I described her. You know, she was 5'4", she had short curly hair, she was a little heavier set. "We don't have a nurse like that." I said, "Well, she told me to get an empty stomach weight for him at midnight." And they're like, "What are you talking about? Empty stomach weight?" They said, "I've never heard of such a thing. We wouldn't tell anybody anything like that." So kind of left me a little baffled, but all in all, I believe Michael had a guardian angel.
Is that what you make of that that was your guardian angel and even his guardian angel? How did this experience affect your life, and how's Michael doing?
Well, he is doing just fabulous, and it affected my life in a grand way. It just made me realize how much God really cares about all of us, and even our little babies, and I feel that God has a very special purpose for Michael's life.
I bet you're right. Erin, thanks for coming and being on with us today. That's
You're
a precious
so welcome.
story. And give Michael a hug for us, okay?
I sure will.